Hello everyone. Welcome to this podcast. This is episode 1. My name is Bianca. I'll be your host. I am a knitter and crocheter from the Netherlands. During this time of self-isolation or the intelligent lockdown my country is having, I thought I would take the time and opportunity to learn more styles of crafting, learn other things, and also dip my feet a little in pattern designing. So that's what I've been doing. Downside to the intelligent lockdown is I have no one to talk about. So yeah, that's basically why I'm starting this podcast. So I'll be showing whips, finished objects, or FOs as some of the other podcasters notice. Shout out to the fat squirrel who made me realize I could try this and maybe just fail miserably or just have a lot of fun while doing it. I chose the latter, so if you don't mind, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. Backstory, Dutch girl, I'm 33, learned how to knit from my grandma at age 8. I'm a lefty. It was kind of sour for my grandma and my aunt, who were both right-handed persons. So they practiced a lot of knitting with the left hand so they could teach me, because I was pretty persistent. Didn't want to learn how to crochet, I wanted to learn how to knit. So they practiced, tried to teach me. I couldn't figure it out. For the world, I could not figure it out. So turned out I might be left-handed writing and a lot of other stuff. I am a right-handed knitter. I am also, we figured out a few years back, a right-handed crocheter. So yeah, I can do crochet with my left hand, but as I tried to explain a lot of stuff to my mother, who was right-handed, it was easier for me to basically just pick it over and do it right-handed, so she could actually see what I was doing firsthand and just repeat. Yeah, that's me. So if you have any questions about me, post them in the comments, let me know. Some of my pronunciations might be weird or grammar might be off. English is not my first language. I am proficient at it, but I'm still a Dutch girl, so yeah, Dutch will always be better than English. Will definitely better than my German. I know some German, but not that great. So yeah, let's get into finished objects first. So I have quite a few because I've been spending a lot of time at home. I made this baby blanket. It's in the waffle stitch. Let me downsides to wide with a ribbed edging. Some information more about this project. I work a lot with thrifted materials. I try not to go buy new stuff when so much of new material is getting chucked out by people who don't use it any longer. So I work a lot with thrift store finds, which makes it hard to color coordinate my things and or do a bigger project in one color. So with this blanket, it's basically multiple balls of white yarn, and one of them is not white. Yeah, it's barely noticeable. I know where to look, so I see it. But yeah, the first in here is like an off-white. I was hoping it would just wash out or something, because sometimes with yarns that have been lying around for a while, they gather dust and well, it just washes out. In this case it didn't, so there's a small difference in the first line. Probably if I don't tell people, they won't notice. If I don't tell them and they do notice, I'm gonna feel guilty, so I'm not sure what to do with the blanket. But yeah, that was it. Then I did a hat. Let me just, it's on the floor, so because I'm a proud cat mama. From Bag O' Day Crochet. It's her postman, postboy, messenger boy tutorial with a button, small flap. It's a little big on me because I can fit in there pretty well. So yeah, I had to try again with a smaller needle. So I did that. It's a good thing I have a button obsession, so I have a lot of vintagey buttons. Also, one of the perks to thrifting, you can find a lot of vintage things or new vintage. This is a color you'll see again because this was a scrap. Like I said, I don't like letting things go to waste. It's a half double, but instead of going forward when you loop it, you go backwards to loop it. So the stitch looks a little bit different. It looks so much fun. Her tutorials are very clear, you can just follow them. She doesn't go too slow, she just keeps going. And my biggest pet with tutorials is when people go like, yeah, I use this yarn and that, and it's like 15 minutes of an intro before they actually start doing something. I'm like, and then between they will go like, oh, and back when I did this. Just keep going with your tutorial. I'm here for the tutorial, not for your life story. So if I want a life story, I'll go to podcasts. So yeah, and then you'll need to be good because otherwise I won't stick around. I made 3 hats. The other one is knit. It was the first knitwear I did in a very long time. No pattern, just me playing with my 4 needles, trying to not poke my own eyes out. It's I have bobby pins in my hair, so this is quite a challenge. Slouchy, it'll stretch. It's a thrift find again. It's a yarn blend, I think, with a sparkle in it. Let me just there. It's really basic, really simple. You can just wear it anytime, anywhere, any place. Might not want to do it when it's really hot, but hey, you could try. I'm not stopping you. Putting them back on the floor. It's a good thing I have enough space. And while we're on hats, am I gonna do that? No, I'm gonna keep that for works and projects. So then I made a sweater, and I keep finding new threads. I apparently did not sew it. I've been wearing this as well, so every time it comes out of the laundry, it's just like, oh, there's another one. It's MJ's Off the Hook one-piece pullover. It's great. It's slouchy, it's easy to make, it works up so fast. It's also a YouTube tutorial. Her pattern only goes to the M for the YouTube tutorial, but she has them going up to way much, well, various sizes. That's what I'm looking for. So yeah, MJ's Off the Hook. I actually love this pattern, but if I were to make it again, I would make some modifications. I would make it a little shorter because it's on me. It's really bulky. The sleeves go to here, and when it's cold, I don't mind. But when it's a little hotter and I'm just wearing it with a tank top or something, yeah, I don't want the sleeves going to there because I have all the bulk around here. And that is quite difficult when working, and I am quite a clumsy person, so yeah, at some point I will get stuck at something and just rip a hole in it or something. I don't want that to happen, so I would make it shorter. I would definitely shorten the sleeves, maybe even to a 3/4 sleeve, because I think that would be pretty too. But the pattern is so well explained that you can basically just alter anything you want to alter yourself. She explains in her tutorials how to do that, so awesome! Because I've been trying to make several garments before, like tops and stuff, but you know, most of the tops are made for people who aren't that chesty. Is that even a word, chesty? Well, they don't have a very large circumference around the bust, so that would make it easier to wear a top. But when you are a little wider, you have a little more person to yourself, it can be a little more difficult to just make it fit. And when they don't explain how to alter stuff and you're just beginning, that's well difficult to figure out. I made a top they did explain how to alter the bit that would cover your actual boobs, but they didn't explain how to increase on the pineapple bit that went around the waist. So that was quite a thing for me. I spent a lot of time, a lot of cursing, and eventually I just gave up and gave it a tie and pretended that the backside didn't exist. Worked as well. After the good success I had with MJF the hooks pullover, I felt empowered enough to try and make my own. Yeah. Like, no, why not? I have nothing that goes together. I have zero experience just making a garment. Why not make my own pullover? Because this idea I have in my head is fun. I want to make it. It went surprisingly well, actually, but it might not have been one of my smartest ideas. I can be quite impulsive, so yeah. It's hideous. It's absolutely hideous. I'm gonna warn you. Upfront, honest opinion. I used 4 different colors. Could have been more, could have been less. I used 4 different colors. So they're all the same thickness, same whatever you call ply and stuff. But I used 4 colors and I made a mock-up. A mock-up is usually something that's done in sewing. I figured, why can't I translate it to crochet? Because if I'm going to spend the money on new yarn, because I don't have anything that actually has enough yardage to make this, I want to make sure that the idea in my head isn't actually well, I want to make sure it doesn't suck. So I did that, and this came out. Crop top, very wide neck, so you can wear it off the shoulder. I did a detail on the lower part, like a triangle, and then the center has this braid idea, and over the sleeves, which are 3/4 by the way, I did a detailing that runs over the shoulder. So this worked up really fast. I used a 5mm crochet hook. It's I think an H for American people. I have it somewhere in the bag, so I can check when we get to the width, because I've been using it again. So once I finished this, I was like, now I can comfortably get some yarn and knock this out. So I actually repeated the sweater a second time, following the pattern I wrote down, so I could clarify some shit that I may have missed the first time, and just work it out. This is the number 2. It's a one size fits most, because it's pretty wide, pretty boxy. I do explain how to make it wider. I do explain how to change the neckline. I do explain how to change the sleeves. So in that respect, the pattern is pretty versatile. You can change a lot of things yourself. You don't need a lot of yarn. It's, I think, 4 balls, so that was like 750 meters. I'm not good at yardage, so you'll have to forgive me for that one. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good, and I'm already thinking about a second one. But first I need to finish some of my works in progresses, because I'm pretty prone to starting new things before I finish something, and one of my New Year's resolutions was to finish more than I started, so that's something I'm keeping up with. I actually finished another project, but I can't talk about that. Well, I can, but I won't, because it's a birthday present for my best friend. Yeah. During the time of intelligent lockdown and not being able to visit, my best friend is turning 30. Like, I so wanted to be there. And then you'll be like, yo, Bianca, why don't you just go? Well, she is not in a spot where I can visit easily. I need to travel, because I don't drive, I need to travel 4 hours with public transportation, and she is close to the hotspot for the virus, so yeah, not risking it. I have a compromised immune system, so I don't want it. I don't need it. So my ass is staying home. I sent her a big box of presents, and yeah, we'll go do something when everything blows over. That's basically it. So yeah. Oh, there's another one. It's actually easy to forget because it's really tiny. I will actually put the pictures of what I made for my friend in the next episode, because her birthday is tomorrow, 2nd of May. So I'm hoping she'll have it by then, because postage is really slow at the moment. But yeah, I do have pictures, so I will put up pictures in the next episode so you can see. And this is something I made as well. It's twine. It smells like bags that have been in a moist attic for a long time, and this is meant for a Halloween costume, and I'm already working on it in April. So yeah, I need to make a few components to this costume. It's gonna be fun. I've been a volunteer for this foundation for nearly 5 years now, and their Halloween things are fun. So yeah, I don't mind prepping a little early. It's giving me time to actually find the right materials, the right stuff to work with, and make mistakes and start over again. So besides the crochet, the little bit of knitting I showed you, I also made project bags. And this slowly leads into what I'm working on. So this is a small one, and I used my 1930s hand sewing machine from Singer, because why not? I have the thing, let's use it. This is the bigger version for like sweaters and that kind of thing. This is more like hats, socks if I were to make them, squares, headbands, tops, small tops could be in here too. So yeah, I also make them. And then in here I have squares from a vintage book I don't have here at the moment. It's probably still in the living room. I'm not gonna get it. I will just tell you next time, because I'm that well prepared. They're small, and my plan is to make enough of them to make a t-shirt. This yarn I got at a festival last year. It's by, I think, Moon Goddess, but I'm not sure because I lost the label. And I'm using a 2mm hook, which is a size B for the Americans. And basically I have a few squares in here, not that many, scissors, and usually a tapestry needle, but that's in my other bag at the moment, so yeah, it's easy. You can just grab on and go. In the big one I have, and I have a name for this one because I looked it up. It is the Sweet Summer Crochet Crop Top from the Magic Loop, also scissors in here. And this is a rusty brownish color, and it is so much fun to work on. Like, it's working around, it worked in around. The front is a little bit denser, which is kind of nice if you have boobs, because I don't need them flapping in the wind. The back is a little more holy. At this point I've split for the sleeves, and I'm working up the back further. It's a really nice pattern. It's a free pattern. If you like tops like this, I would surely recommend. Let me see what hook I'm using. This is a 4mm hook. It's a size F for the people who want to know. And the sweaters were worked with, yep, the 5mm H hook, but the letters are already fading, so yeah, it's still eligible. In here I have the caps for my interchangeable hooks, my interchangeable crochet hook, because I've been looking at the elf pattern jacket, which uses Tunisian hooks, my 60cm wire, more caps, my row counter, and a pen, some paper, because when I do make stuff up I need to write it down, because I'm one of those people, I won't remember it afterwards. So yeah, love this pattern though. It works up not as fast as MJF the hook, but fast enough that it can keep your interest, even if it's a bit well, you keep repeating the same pattern over and over. Yeah, the top looks great in the picture, so I'm hoping to get similar something that looks like it. I can't find more. So, oh, I forgot to put the scissors back, and I need to do that because I will lose them. There you go. And then I have one more project. This is quite a challenge for me. New needles. And maybe I shouldn't put stuff on the floor. Cats and shedding. Yeah. It's a hat. Well, it will be a hat. Currently I'm ripping out 2 rows because I made a mistake somewhere and I'm trying to figure out where. I think I found it, but yeah, I need to start over. Like, it does look pretty though, because now that I've gotten very border, but the ribbing looks nice. I also like the inside. It looks very, very crisp. Yeah, and this is one of the bowls I got from my mom, so it's a one thing I have, and I'm hoping I can manage with that. The pattern for this is Bluma Beanie, and it's made by Tabitha Jarvis, and I like it. I'm not entering any pictures. If you want to see what the shelf is going to look like, well, go find it on Ravelry. It's a lacy pattern with bows in it, so it looks awesome. I still wanted to try it. I have zero experience in knitting hats, apart from the one you just saw that I made, patternless. So I do. So my camera went out after 25 minutes and I didn't realize. Awesome! Good thing I checked my content before I put it online, so I had time to catch it. It caught out at the, caught out at the moment where I was telling about the hat I made for a friend as a joke. It was meant as a hat for a party at her work for Christmas, and instead of doing an ugly sweater contest, they did a ugly hat contest, and the person with the ugliest, most special Christmas hat won. So she asked me, can you make me a hat? I was like, sure. You want to be a Christmas tree? And she was like, yeah, I want to be a Christmas tree. So I made her a hat with the brim being the trunk of the tree, and then working up into the tree itself, forming the leaves and stuff, and then adding little scraps of yarn as balls, adding lights, and I sent it to her. She didn't win, of course. I think some store-bought hat won. It's fine. But then one of my other friends liked it, so I made another one. Then someone in a crochet group liked it, so I wrote the pattern. The pattern was online for free for about a year, and it got downloaded so frequently that I was like, well, if I just put a small number on it, maybe I can use it to sponsor me buying new yarn, so that I could try other things. So I did that. It's a small amount of money. It's the first pattern I wrote. The pullover that I showed you, the mock-up, and the green sweater itself, I wrote that pattern. That's also up on Ravelry, and yeah, they're for sale. And by buying that pattern, you're sponsoring me making new stuff instead of using all of my mismatched leftovers that I find in thrift stores. And yeah, so if you want to see them, check on Ravelry. If you just put in my name or Clover pullover, it should pop up. The Christmas tree hat would also work. It should also pop up. I'd be grateful if you even checked it out. And that was it for today for me. If you like this podcast, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs me down. If you have any tips, tricks, or comments, leave them down below for me so I can check them out. Any other comments otherwise are welcome as well, and I hope you all stay safe and that I'm able to see you again during the next episode of this podcast. See you soon!